Hello, and welcome back to Bimbler's Ironman Challenge, where a decidedly average gamer tries to make Albion Online even harder than it really should. Okay, so what's been happening in Ironman Albion in the last week? Well, as you could probably tell by the title, we've been trying out a holy spec, and this is for us to use in the corrupted dungeons. I'll just take you through what it is and what I'm thinking. Okay, well, obviously holy, you've got a fair bit of sustain because you've got these heals. I'm using the life touch staff, which has better heals than the normal one-hander. We've got sacred pulse, which this is the key to this build, or what I'm trying anyway. This gives you a very big knockback, okay? And you've got smite to do some damage. Also, we're using the mage's cowl for another knockback, and we're using the fiend robe with fear aura to keep people away also. So the idea behind this build is to use the staff to keep us alive whilst trying to constantly knock the enemy into the mobs and traps as a way of killing them basically. And obviously we do get some damage out with smite and with the, what was it called, with the sacred pulse. So that's the idea behind it, and we've tried a couple of different boots. This is just for mobility and to regenerate some energy, but we've also tried the fisherman boots, which I don't think it didn't really work because we had flat 4 fisherman boots on and our hit points were probably a bit low, and maybe we mishandled it a bit. But that was also the idea behind the fisherman boots, was to have another knockback, because the mobility slot also knocks back anyone that you slide through. So that's the idea behind the build, and without further ado, I'll show you some of the gameplay. Okay, so this is our first encounter in the corrupted dungeons using the holy setup, and this is the chap we find, and he is a great axe user. And so this, we're hoping that it will be favourable because we can use all the knockbacks that we've got to try and punt him into all the mobs and into all the traps, and hopefully do a decent amount of damage to him that way. And that's how it does start off. We've managed to get the mobs to hurt him quite badly, and he runs off. We don't have a huge amount of mobility, which is a fairly big issue with this build. If someone decides they want to run away and they have decent mobility, it's going to be quite hard for us to ever sort of chase them down. So that could be a real stumbling point with this build. But anyway, he decides now he's healed himself back up that he wants to fight again. And we're quite badly damaged at this point. He must think, oh, I'm going to win this one. But we can. The thing is, he's used his whirlwind, and he's done a lot of damage. Sorry, he actually killed the mobs, which silenced him, which switched it off. So that gave us the opportunity to heal up. And now he's in trouble with the mobs again. Because he's got a lot of AoEs, he gets a lot of mobs on him. So this is definitely interesting to see how the Great Axe, it's difficult to actually fight people, because if they're anywhere near mobs, you're going to aggro them, or you're going to kill them and do all sorts of all sorts of damage to yourself potentially. So he's almost dead now. We finished him off with a poison, and that's our first win. So, and I think the build held up okay there. Okay, so in this one we really teach this guy how to PvP in corrupted dungeons. We really teach him a lesson, and the lesson is don't go AFK. You go AFK, this could happen, and it did happen to him, which is really unfortunate for him, but very fortunate for him, for us, sorry. But we didn't learn anything about the build, but still, it's nice to have another win under our belt, and so that's a good result for us. Well, so far so good. The build seems to be holding up okay, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. We get another fight. This time, I think that was an Infernal Scythe, wasn't it? And he really wrecks us early on. Must feel pretty confident at this point that he's going to win, and I feel pretty confident he's going to win at this point. But we have got quite a lot of healing. We have got quite a lot of ways of keeping him away from us. So you know, this is how this build is supposed to be played, or how I'm trying to play it. Is to try and knock him into the trap. So that didn't work there because the trap had gone down. But see here, he's ever so close to it. We're almost dead, but we get away with that bit. And you know, the fights are probably going to be quite long a lot of the time in this. He's obviously taken a lot of damage now to the mobs and traps, which is what we want. We couldn't take advantage of it initially because we were so badly hurt we didn't want to engage him. But we've used our one little bit of mobility we've got to get near to him. And yeah, it's going okay, this fight. It's getting better. He's now in panic mode. I think he's got used all his skills. Everything's down, so he's now got to run. And yeah, that's that. I mean, I thought that was that, but then he used that ability. But we get away because we use our run again, and that goes okay for us. We then get punted away from him. It's a long, drawn-out fight, but in the end, we win it. So I'm definitely happy with that one as well. Well, at the moment, that's 3 wins. And there's one fight I didn't show, which was we were winning, but the chap just ran away, and it showed up the lack of mobility in the build. You know, any build that does have mobility can just choose to disengage as long as he doesn't get too clumsy with the mobs. So we then fight a curse staff, and I think initially I'm thinking, this is going okay. I could probably win this, and then he just melts us. we lose so badly, and I was a bit surprised by that. But yeah, I think we've got to learn which builds we probably can't fight, and the curse staff definitely seemed like we couldn't put out enough damage. I think he had Merc Jacket and different things as well to give himself sustain. So yeah, that one wasn't so good. And on to the next fight. We're fighting a nature staff, and I'll let you into a bit of a spoiler. We handle this really badly. I think probably, in all honesty, it's going to be difficult for us to beat something like a nature build because they've just got so much sustain. And unless I can really get them to trip up badly with the traps or something, I'm never going to be able to put any damage into him that's going to chip away at his sustain. So what I should have done is run and just keep running. But I kept sort of trying to fight. And it's interesting, actually. At this point, I've tried something new. I tried Fisherman Boots as well, because I thought, wow, if we're going to be knocking people back all the time, why don't we use that the boots to knock them into mobs even more? And I don't know, maybe it could work, but because it's only a tier 4 boot, and it really made our hit points very low and probably limits your mobility. But here, I should have healed up before going through these, and maybe I could have got away, but I just run through everything blindly in a bit of a panic, I think, and that's another loss. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you all enjoyed our Holy Ironman episode. I certainly enjoyed playing the Holy build. It's quite good fun. I'm not sure if it's really competitive or not. I mean, it'd be interesting if some people out there could try it. Probably people who are a bit more skilled at PvP, and see if they think it's any good, and let me know. That would be very interesting. And well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like or bung me a subscribe. That would be really good. And goodbye.